Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is Tanveer Syed, and welcome to another video about issues with blindness and visual impairment. I've been meaning to do this for a good amount of time, but something happened and my schedule got very compact. Best way to put it. And yes, I never got around to it, but better late than never. So today I'm going to talk about just briefly how I handle long hours of work as a legally blind person. Now, as a legally blind person with very little vision, um, my work actually involves the use of a laptop and a Zoom text. I'm sorry. The use and my laptop is actually something from 2012. So the aspect ratio is still 4:3. It's not the 16 by 9 ratio. It's not the HD ratio, or it might be like 720 by 480, but it's definitely not the 16:9 ratio. So everyone who's used magnifying software or screen readers, you will know that you cannot you cannot read for an extensive period of time with a magnifier. Or I'm not talking about a narrator, I'm talking about an actual magnifier where you have to visually do the reading and like operate a website at the same, in the same speed, or in the same capacity as someone without visual impairments. Usually you just cannot. This is because of something called visually induced motion sickness. And this is like, this is the thing that happens is because I had to do my research to figure this out. And since my research, like my current PhD work, involves VR, one of the articles actually like stated this: visually induced motion sickness. This is when like you have those eye strain moments and you suddenly end up having a migraine. It's like someone. It's as if someone hit you in the. It's like someone hit you in the head. And believe me, a lot of people do not realize how difficult it is, dealing with this every single day. But here's what I figured. First of all, especially if you're like, reading from really up close, your eyes start to get very warm. So if you have something like really cold or something like, or even if it's a very cold room, your digits or your fingers will start getting a little cold. So just close your eyes and gently place your fingers on your eyes. It it i I found that it slightly helps. Maybe your maybe experiences might be different, but I found it slightly helps. Second, obviously, drink some water. Third is like, you have to give yourself a little bit of a break. Okay, like me usually it's about maybe after like an hour 15 minutes, like, I sort of take a break. But once you come back from it, it's never enough, because after you'll see, for after a shorter and shorter amount of time, you will start needing those breaks maybe like, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like, if let's say you go on a lunch break, let's say half an hour or 45 minutes, then you end up fully recharged, as long as you're not like, overstimulating yourself. Because essentially, like, you're like, because you start feeling a little groggy, like, the world might, at least that's what I feel. I start feeling a little groggy. The world starts to like, spin a little bit. And days where I had to like, sit for three, like, two, maybe 2.5, maybe even 3 hours straight in front of a laptop, I found it hard to even orient myself, from time to time. But hey, that's the life of a visually impaired person. There's a lot of these small things that many people don't talk about. And I'm realizing this much more and more every day. Like, all you have is all this organization, like you have like this extremely large, nationwide global organizations, but they don't bring attention to this enough. Anyways, and finally, like, if you want to like relax or something, I found that it's better to be in like a quiet place where like you're not even listening to music or whatnot. Okay, and you're just trying to clear your mind. Okay, so if you have a quiet place, to clear your mind, like your body will somehow automatically tend to like realign itself and like recharge itself. So just do that and just keep your eyes closed, or like in a dark room, or I won't say dark, fully pitch black room, but relatively darker room. And I don't know about you, but as for me, first of all, the black background with white text, it eases a lot of the strain. And I mean like lot as in capital L, capital O, capital T. I cannot emphasize that enough with 3 or 4 exclamation points. Okay, but with that being said, I've read this somewhere, but like obviously please do your research as well. Don't just take my word for it. I've read this somewhere as well that if the screen light or if the ambient lighting is a little darker than the display light, the fluorescent screen light, it actually eases the viewing experience. It puts less strain on the eyes. So, because in the summer I had to pull off 6 hour work days, sometimes even 7 hours, and my highest was 7.5 hour work days. Yes, I had to take those breaks. I had to go to the bathroom. I had to wash my face. I had to like cool my eyes down. And in the end, yes, I am a little exhausted. Like I'm quite a bit exhausted. Like even after taking those breaks. But yes, at least taking those, taking those, I call them eye breaks. Taking those little eye breaks, it helps you like function better and carry out your designated duties better if it involves like a reading screen or whatnot, compared to if you go at a stretch. Because trust me, if you, as a legally blind person, if you go at a stretch, you will find your overall functionality and performance diminish rapidly after a certain period of time. Like you just hold your head and you try to get that second, third, fourth wind, and you go back and try and read it, and try and do your reading or whatnot. It will not last that long. That had a headache will that headache and that dizziness will come back soon enough. So the eye breaks are a much more efficient way to actually like use your like internal resources or whatnot. All right, that's about it for this video. Please let me know if you found this content useful, and as always, if you want to learn more about the other subjects that I've spoken about for regards to blindness and visual impairments, I always like I've created a playlist on this channel dedicated to blindness and visual impairments. If you find those helpful, please do let me know, and hit a like and subscribe button. And if you would like me to speak about anything else, blindness and visual impaired related, please do let me know in the comment section below. This is Tanveer Syed signing off.